As a whole, it's frustrating because I think the team looked extremely, strong for 4 months, and then, over the last 2 months or 45 days, between losing Evaldi and Tex and then a lot of underperformance from, some guys that played radically differently down the stretch than they did for the first 4 months, changed the complexion of this team.
You look at some of those guys, McCann, Ellsbury, Gardner, who didn't have the best numbers offensively in the second half. How alarming is that, knowing that they're guys that are part of the core moving forward?
It's just more of a head scratcher. I know these guys have a lot of heart, they have a lot of character, they have a lot of ability, and I know from year in and year out things can change. So some of these guys we need to resuscitate. Mac came back and had a big year for us this year, and last year, wasn't the same type of year for him. And Tex, for instance, had a big bounce back year this year for us, and so those are examples of people that, when we look and drill down on who struggled or underperformed this year for us, that are part of the future automatically. That we're going to be looking at those guys to have those type of rebound years and turning back the clock to getting back to the level of performance we're expecting. So it's frustrating. There's no doubt about that. We expected to move forward. We expected better performance from this team down the stretch, and more reflective of the first 4 months. But it just seemed like the last 45 days, especially 2 months, it's just been a grind, and it's gotten worse and not better.
What did you think of Tanaka overall?
For the season?
Yeah.
I think for the season overall, he was good. There was a lot of question marks about what he would provide, and I think he had a solid season for us. So overall, I thought he had a good season.
You look at the bullpen; they were a strength at one point in time. Do you think they started to get fatigued down the stretch with the way Joe had to use them to stay in games?
Yeah, I think those guys stepped up, and carried us to it was a big strength for us. It was an expected strength. We built it up to be that way for us because we knew our starters weren't going to go deep, and we relied on them, all the way to the end, and at times maybe too much. So you got to give it a big tip of the cap. They kept us in the game for the most part today, even with Tanaka coming out after 5.
When do you start looking towards next year?
We've got no choice, but we have to start now. Our season's over, so we've already scheduled our pro scouting meetings, and I just talked to our staff upstairs about what the date's going to be, and we'll obviously be focused on 2016 now.